What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Hope you guys are all having a great day. Today, we're talking about the Powerslide Zoom Pro 80 skates. These skates are a more budget-oriented skate, but does that really mean that they're budget or low end? They come in at about 165 US dollars. I believe the actual Powerslide Zoom 80, the basic models of these, come at 140, 150 US dollars. So it's like a $20 delta there. That being said, for a set of solid urban skates is a great price. That's why I really wanted to have Powerslide send me these over, because I wanted to be able to review these for you all so that if you're getting into this sport, you don't have to purchase something that's just a cheaper, lower end skates. My personal opinion, ones that are sub $150 are just really not anything that I would recommend someone going and getting. So truthfully, I think if you're buying a brand new pair of skates to get into skating, the $150 mark is kind of what you should shoot for. That being said, that's why I reached out to Powerslide and asked if they could provide me with some of their Powerslide Zoom 80 skates to review. These skates were provided to me from Powerslide for review, obviously, but all my thoughts and opinions are going to be my personal thoughts and opinions. So yeah, let's get into it, starting with the skate overview. All right, so right off the bat, these honestly don't look like a budget skate to me in terms of looks. I think that has a lot to do with just the black and white styling. Let's break this thing down from top to bottom, starting with the top and the cuff. Like always, we got a nice V-cut right here, a low cut cuff. Not super low, but you know, at least it's there. If we come around the front here, we have our buckle right here. I think, to be honest, it's the same buckle that's shared on their next skates, at least their basic core neck skate. A little bit on the cheaper side. This part up in here is metal, but the buckle area, the latch, the strap is all plastic, and the strap is kind of a thinner material. The good thing about this budget skate is seeing these two screws instead of rivets. So this is completely replaceable. That's a plus. On top of that, if we go down the cuff, I'm not seeing any way to remove this cuff, so not the end of the world, especially on a budget skate, but it is nice to be able to remove cuffs, say if you wanted to replace it. Not really the end of the world. If we keep going down, we find the 45-degree strap. This 45-degree strap, at least the ratchet system, actually I think the whole 45-degree strap, to be honest, is the exact same strap that we find on the Powerslide Next core skates. That's really cool, because the Powerslide Next core skates, I think they start at $250, so that's a whole $100 difference, but they're still sharing the same exact buckle system. I really like this ratchet system. It looks cool. It's really nice and stiff, and it just feels heavy duty, as well as this release lever right here. Just feels real nice. And the front here, it has, for the strap, it actually has a little guide here, so it holds it nice in place. The unique thing about this 45-degree strap is it has a slide protection area right here. So when you go down and slide on this, you're not going to be tearing up this quite as bad as you would if, say, this little slide protection piece of plastic wasn't there. That's really cool. I really like that. Yeah, that's 45-degree strap. The lacing system, just a normal lacing system. They got metal eyelets that are painted. They're already kind of starting to chip a little bit, I can see. And these, I literally just took them out of the box. The laces though, nice thick laces. I don't think they're waxed, but very, very nice. I mean, laces on a hard shell boot that has a really nice 45 and, you know, cuff strap already. These you don't even need. So these are just for looks anyways. So they look great. I think they're a really nice premium looking lace. You don't even have to replace them. On the actual shell, we got the slide plate area right here so that we're protecting the shell as we go down. We're sliding on that and not just tearing up the shell of the boot. Yeah, so that's really the boot area. Let's move on down to the bottom here and check out the frames and wheels. So this is really cool. This is kind of the reason I think I would almost push a lot of people to buy these as a entry level or lower end skate in terms of pricing, because you're also getting Powerslide's Trinity frame mounting system. And what that is, if you don't know, is it's instead of having a bolt here and a bolt here, or right here, you actually have a bolt here and then a bolt right here and a bolt over here. So you're almost like in a triangular shape. What that's doing is instead of having bolts in line where the frame can slip side to side, this frame's not really moving anywhere because the triangular form is holding it in place. It's really cool. On top of that, the power transfer I've heard is awesome on these. The last icing on the cake to the Trinity system is the fact that these wheels can get a lot closer to the actual base of the boot because they don't have to have a bolt right here where it's in the way of the wheel spinning. A lot of good things going on with the Trinity system. Only downside to the Trinity system is, say you want to roll some end and skate frames or something on these shells. Well, you can't. You're buying into a system that only Powerslide makes frames for. But it's still very cool to see that system on a base model skate. So the next up we'll look at is the wheels. These are the Powerslide Hurricane wheels. These wheels are an 80 millimeter, 86A. The 4x80 skate is really the catch-all. It's the jack of all trades skate size for an urban or fitness skate. Really a great free skate skating size. I think these are 243, yep, 243 is the frame length, which is a very common 4x80 setup. Quite short, very maneuverable and low to the ground, but still you're gonna get some good cruising speeds and just good flow out of a 80 millimeter wheel. Inside these wheels are the Wicked bearings, which is Powerslide's bearing company, as you can see right there. The Wicked bearings in here, I believe, are the ABEX 7 Wickeds. So it looks like, real quick here, there's a little threaded hole right here. That looks to be where the brake you can purchase for these it would attach to if you would like to buy a brake for these. I kind of like how it's there and not attaching to this because then you don't have to have a longer axle right here. And then if you lose the one that you have out for the axle and then go back to not having a brake on, then you got this long axle that's moving around on you. So cool to have it completely separate from the wheel. Yeah, great looking features for, 160 bucks. That's so far so good. Let's open these skates up and take a look inside for the liners. All right, so here are the liners. Pretty basic, but premium looking liner. Like this really does look quite nice, to be honest. This is just the MyFit basic liner. It is a dual fit liner. That means that they basically make one size shelf for two sizes of skates, and then the liner actually inside in this area can be pushed and grow basically a full size. Let's start from the top. We got a nice, this is a nice strap. The thickness, the width of it is pretty nice. Again, don't pull on this when you're pulling your skates on because this will rip eventually. The cuff area is nice and firm, nice and thick. Feels like it's gonna be a pretty comfy skate, to be honest. And I would expect that they're gonna put more comfort into this than performance, because the person that's gonna buy this is probably either just getting into it or just looking for a skate for more comfort than extreme performance. Because if you're looking for extreme performance, you're gonna be spending more money anyways. So I think it's a good way to go. I'm excited to feel the comfort ride in these guys. The tongue, not super stiff, but it is not the floppiest tongue I've ever seen. Pretty good there. If we get to the front here, this is that dual fit part, and the bottom, it kind of can push out more of that neoprene area. For the wider foot or the bigger foot, it can really fill that shell out. And then the bottoms are the same material that's on my MyFit recall liners in the next skates. It's not slick plastic. It's a nice kind of almost rubbery feel. Not really rubbery, but grippier than a lot of other bottom skate liners I've seen, which hopefully will help keep this thing from sliding around the bottom of the skate. I always say hot glue gun with dots is a great way to make sure this thing does not move at all. Let's have a look at the insoles. Okay, here's the insole. Man, this thing is lightweight, little foam. It's just a cheap, simple insole. You can always switch these out and find the insole that your foot feels best with. So let's check out the shock absorber. All right, so again, very similar design with the shock absorber. This is basically the same thing that was in the next skate as well. This little plastic plate inside the shell, which keeps the bottom of the liner from getting chewed up from the bottom of the shell of the boot. Has the shock absorber glued to it. Keeps it in place, does the job. I think it's about the exact same thickness as my next one. I think it's the exact same, to be honest, the exact same part as what goes in the next skate. Yeah, it's probably about the right thickness for a raised tail boot. All right, so that's the overview of these skates. They look really promising to me. I'm really excited to get on them and try them because, you know, for such a low end in terms of budget to get into these skates, they really offer quite a bit of premium features and functionality. So let's get these things put back together, get them on my feet, and let's go for a roll. First off, for those with a keen eye, probably noticed I'm missing something. Yeah, so excited to get on these brand new blades that put them on and just took off without grabbing my helmet. So we're gonna make a quick pit stop back by the house before we go to our next location. All right, so what do I think about these skates? Well, let's find out, starting with the pros. So for the first pro, there's a lot of skates out there in that budget range that just don't look really that great. These guys, I think, look really sweet and more of a premium skate look for a budget price. So first pro, great design. So for the second pro, these skates are the exact same shells as used for the Sway aggressive boots. Aggressive skates are designed and created to be very durable and structurally sound so they can take a beating. And to use this same exact mold from those skates for a free skate really makes them probably one of the more durable free skates on the market. So the second pro, great durability. All right, the third pro, because these skates are a sub $200 skate and really budget oriented, I was really surprised to see the Trinity Mount System on these skates. In my opinion, that's a premium product or a premium offering from Powerslide that I wouldn't imagine to see on a skate that's in the sub $200 price point. The next pro is great power transfer. Because of that Trinity frame and that super solid boot that really has no air cut ventilation, that power transfer is really second to none from the boot all the way down to the wheels. And lastly, the liners that these come with, they leave some things to be desired, but for a budget skate, these things are quite the premium liner. They are so comfy. So that's a great set of pros. Let's take a look at the cons. So for the first con, I don't really know how to explain this. I think it's just like finishing details, I'm calling it. And it's not something that's functionally gonna take away from the skate. It's just more of a visual kind of quality control issue that I found, which is around the bottom of the boot. That seam line is visible, which is fine. But on top of that, it kind of has like overcut that should have been shaved off or cut off all the way around the boot. That being said, it's not going to do anything to your skating. It's just kind of something that just feels like they took that little extra step. It would have been felt and looked like a much more premium skate. So for the second con, both straps are just a little thin, and the top buckle area, the buckle part is just a little kind of, just not the best. I mean, it's definitely where they've saved some money so they can put this skate out at a lower cost. So the next up for cons, these bearings were a little sluggish, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like these ABEC 5s could have been an ABEC 7 or just a little bit better bearing. They just felt a little kind of like I was pushing through some mud, if you will. That being said, you can always replace them. Another con, there isn't a break in the box. So those that are beginners buying these skates, which I think a lot of people will be buying these skates that are beginners, you're gonna have to splurge for an extra for these skates, which, brings them up in price. And it feels like a skate in a lower budget range should just come with a break. And the last con, this is a pro, like I said, but it's also kind of a con in my opinion. That Trinity Mount System, while it's amazing for power transfer, and I think it's a great design because it lowers the ride height of the skate, at least at the time of shooting this video, there aren't any adapters for it so that you can use other frames on this skate. So say I wanted to throw some NN frames on here or an endless frame on here, you can't right now. So you're kind of stuck in the Powerslide ecosystem of frames. So who are these skates for? Well, I think these skates are for skaters of all skill levels that are looking for a skate that's kind of a jack of all trades skate on a budget. Just make sure that you have a medium to wide foot. Who these skates aren't for, I would say skaters that have a more narrow foot, or skaters that maybe in the future are looking to upgrade to like a rockered frame like the Endless or NN Skates frame or something like that. Someone that wants to try third-party frames out, these aren't the skates for you. If you're looking for an inexpensive, great performing, great price free skate and you have a wider foot, I say really look no further. These are the skates for you. For the best fit in these skates, I recommend measuring your foot in millimeters and then checking out the Mondo sizing chart for these skates and making sure that your foot falls within the dual sizing area. Also, be sure that you have a medium to wider foot, because I have kind of a standard to narrower foot, and I couldn't get these things tight enough to the point where I felt my heel lifting when I was doing some of the flatland moves and stuff. So make sure that your foot is more full volume or wider. All in all, these skates are an amazing choice for beginners to advanced skaters alike. And that's why I'm giving these skates a rating of 3.25 wheels out of 4. If you guys have any questions about these skates, please let me know in the comments below. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. If you guys like this video, you guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you ring that bell so you don't miss any of these uploads. And until next time, guys, just keep rolling.